Welcome back, everybody, to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 20. As today, the regular season here for season number 3 is in the books, but our season ain't quite over yet. Playoff bound, first round bye for our Detroit Lions, and it is quite an exciting time to be a fan of this Lions team. Certainly more hope than this team has seen in a half a century. So let's take a look at the standings. First off, in the AFC, the top half of the conference is only teams of the AFC North and the AFC South. We got 2 under 500 division winners, so as you can see, this conference is just a giant mess. The NFC, luckily, is a little bit more civilized and stable, I guess you could say, with Carolina getting the best record in the NFL and getting the number 1 seed. We get the number 2 seed because New Orleans and Carolina are in the same division, even though we have the same record as the Saints, and they did beat us head-to-head. So here's a look at the playoff schedule. Titans, Chargers, Bears, Cowboys, Browns, Jets, and Saints, Rams for the wild card round. And I find it unfortunate that 2 under 500 teams, including the 6-9-1, nice, New York Jets, get to host a playoff game. So let's review our season real quickly. It obviously didn't start the way we wanted to, as we started off 0-2. Then we benched Matthew Stafford for Tez Lawson, and when Lawson started, we went 12-2 in starts. And those 2 losses, we lost because of a block kick at the end of the game against the Browns, and then a few penalties against the Bears. So Tez theoretically could have gone undefeated. And even though he was a winner, the numbers are up and down. Tez had a good year for a rookie. He showed a ton of flashes, but he made some mistakes, which you would expect. Running the ball, Kerryon Johnson had an elite season. Expect him to go up to Superstar X Factor. Kenny Golladay, T.J. Hawkinson were good. When they were on the field, Bonner Sanders and Juju were good. And then Dwayne Stuber, he was obviously a great undrafted addition. And I will go more in depth about these stats in the offseason stream, just briefly looking at them now. The O-line was a mixed bag. I would have liked to have seen more, but they could have been worse. Defensively, Jared Davis led us in tackles. TFLs went to Jared Davis. And then 16 sacks for Shaquem Griffin. Griffin had 10 last year, and that was no fluke, as he had a phenomenal year for us. 7 picks for Chidobe Awuzie, 5 for Darius Slay, 4 for Quandre Diggs. We easily had the most interceptions in the NFL. I think we had the most takeaways, or some of the most takeaways. Our defense had no problems when it came to forcing turnovers. A few fumbles here and there as well, and then a lot of defensive touchdowns. 1 safety for Trey Flowers. But look at all these defensive touchdowns. Tracy Walker, Devon Kennard, Jared Davis, Chidobe Awuzie, Darius Slay, and Quandre Diggs all scored. Kicking, Matt Prater was phenomenal. His 1 miss was the block in the Browns game. And then Jonathan Brown did pretty good in that Week 16 game when Prater was out with the flu. And then punting, Sam Martin was pretty good too. Jamal Agnew did not do bad as a kick and punt returner. However, he didn't really have any big returns, nor did he score. So now on to the award races. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes, as Ron Rivera wins Coach of the Year, a little bit ironic. Calvin Johnson finishes in 3rd. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Patrick Mahomes, the MVP, even though his team is 6-10. Von Miller wins Defensive Player of the Year. Sidney Jones in 2nd, which is ironic because he had a gazillion tackles, which isn't a good thing for a corner. Noah Curry wins Rookie of the Year on offense, and then AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Hogan Buffett. Best QB goes to Patty Cakes himself, Patrick Mahomes. Best running back goes to Kareem Hunt, who's been great ever since he signed with Baltimore. Top wide receiver goes to Keenan Allen. A few surprises in there like Adam Humphries, but you know Madden loves their slot receivers. Quentin Nelson, best offensive lineman. Best defensive lineman goes to Myles Garrett. I wonder how many times he used a helmet as a weapon this season. Von Miller wins best linebacker. Best defensive back goes to Marlon Humphrey, former legend in our Dolphins franchise last year. And then Justin Tucker wins the best kicker. So a few Ravens in here. Could potentially meet up with them in the playoffs. We'll see. As Russ wins Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC, T-Law finishes in 9th. For Defensive Player of the Year, that goes to Khalil Mack. We got Shaquem Griffin, Chidobe Awuzie, and Jared Davis in there, as T-Law wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Best quarterback goes to Russell Wilson, Tez Lawson in 9th. Best running back goes to Kerryon Johnson, and we're not done. Best wide receiver, 2 years in a row for Kenny Golladay. Top offensive lineman, Zach Martin. We got Frank Ragnow in 10th. This defensive lineman goes to Aaron Donald. Trey Flowers in 10th. Top linebacker, Jared Davis, with Shaquem Griffin in 2nd. Jared Davis in 3rd. Top defensive back goes to Chidobe Awuzie, Slay in 5th. Diggs in 10th. And then best kicker, I don't know what to say about that. Matt Prater should have won. Jonathan Brown played one game. I don't know why he's in the running. So here we go. Who will we be playing in the divisional round? And it will end up being, drumroll please, the New Orleans Saints. So of the 4 NFC teams playing in Wildcard Weekend, I'd say the Saints are the best team. So not really good for us. This means both Wildcard teams, by the way, New Orleans and Chicago, both won. So looking at the Wildcard results, both under 500 teams lose, as the Chargers lose to the Titans. Jets lose to the Browns. Meanwhile, Dallas gets ousted by the Bears, and then the Saints beat LA. So all 4 wildcard teams get the win. So the 3 and 4 seeds are done. And now all 4 wildcard teams are going to be taking on either Baltimore, Carolina, Indianapolis, or us, respectively. We have the Saints, probably the toughest wildcard team in the group. But all of these teams are tough, but when you see the Saints roster, they're head and shoulders above pretty much any of the other teams who could have possibly played in Chicago, Dallas, or Los Angeles. This Saints team, head to toe, is insane. They're led by Jacoby Brissett. We all know Madden loves him. Brissett tossed 4 touchdowns in our Week 1 meeting, and the Saints played really well that game. But you got to remember, that was Week 1. Lots have changed throughout the league. Lots have changed with our team, and at home this time, we certainly got a shot to win it. So how do you guys feel heading into Tez Lawson's first career playoff game? Do you think the Lions will be able to get the victory, or will it be the New Orleans Saints winning another road game? Winner advances to the NFC Championship, where either we will play against the Bears at home, or the winner of this game would head on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers. That'll do it for today's regular season recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Have a good one. Deuces.